Step 25 shows the last major section of superstructure that I need to construct. As with the previous section of superstructure, this is also a very photo-etch intense area of the kit, possibly the most photo-etch intense area. That's because of all these platforms which are entirely replaced with photo-etch. Since there is just so much photo-etch construction needs to be done here, I'm going to split the construction of this area of the superstructure into multiple videos. In this video, I will do all of the plastic construction, then install the photo-etch viewing slits, the funnel grille, and the platform that goes above the 40mm ready room. While removing the components from their sprues, I checked them for defects. There isn't any flashing. I'm quite happy with how well these parts have been molded. The details are nice and crisp, so I just clean them up with a file and sandpaper, and then start removing the details that are going to be replaced with photo-etch. To remove all of these plastic details, I'll start with clippers to remove the majority of the plastic in a very rough way. After the clippers, I use a file to flatten out the surface, and then sandpaper to remove scratches and to smooth out the surface. The details that I'm removing are hatches, viewing slits, and the ladders. The ladders are also going to be replaced with photo-etch. On the funnel top, Trumpeter has provided a plastic grille. As far as plastic grills go, this is quite a nice one because it is actually open. Often the top of the funnels will be closed off with a piece of plastic and you won't be able to see into the funnel cavity. But as nice as this plastic grille is, photo-etch is still better, so I'm going to remove it. After removing the majority of the grille with clippers, I use a variety of files to sand back the excess plastic that's been left behind to create a nice smooth edge. Although Trumpeter did provide a cavity to look into for the top of the funnel, for some reason this structure below they closed off. Unfortunately, this means that when you look through the funnel from above, you can see that the stack is closed off, so I am going to remove this plastic. This is quite a large piece of plastic that is going to be awkward to remove. Certainly removing with clippers will be quite difficult. That is because when you are clipping something, the clippers are actually pushing the plastic out of the way. On a solid piece of plastic like this, there is nowhere for the plastic to go, so you cause stress marks or potentially cracks. The best way to remove plastic like this is to either use a saw if you want more precise control, or some kind of a power tool that will just grind through the plastic. I have elected to use a very fine plastic saw. These plastic saws are just pieces of photo-etch with serrations etched onto one end. Once I have sawed away the majority of the plastic, I then can use clippers, because now when using clippers there is sufficient space opened up so that when I push the plastic out of the way with the clippers, it has somewhere to go. In this case, into the cavity that I've just opened. Once quite a lot of the plastic has been removed and I'm very close to the edge that I want to preserve, I switch over to files and slowly grind back the plastic to create a nice smooth finish. Now that the plastic components have been fully prepared, they can be glued to each other. To glue the components together, I'm using extra thin plastic cement. I simply hold the plastic components in contact with each other and then apply the plastic cement to the seam lines. This is rapid setting plastic cement, so I only need to hold them together for a few seconds before the glue grips and I'm able to move on to bonding another seam line. You will notice that while I'm holding these components together in specific locations, it does open up in other areas. For some reason, these components are very slightly warped. However, once they are pressed together, they will form the correct shape and it will fit nicely on the model. I was able to test that by very strategically holding the part together while I was doing a test fit on the kit. For this part of the superstructure, for the majority of it, after filing back the putty, there isn't any left and the fit is very good. However, on this forward face, the fit is quite poor and there is a lot of putty left behind. Fortunately, it is a nice open and smooth area, so there is plenty of opportunity to nicely shape this putty to get a good smooth finish. The fit also wasn't so great for the section that goes at the forward top of the superstructure. Here the corners needed to be rounded out a little bit more, but that wasn't such a problem since there was quite a lot of excess plastic to work with in that area. After shaping all the putty and plastic with a file, I use sandpaper to smooth out the scratches to create a nice clean finish. The last plastic component to be installed is the funnel top. I didn't want to install that until I dealt with all the seam lines because it was just going to get in the way and obstruct that filing and sanding. Now that I'm happy with the state of the rest of the superstructure, I can install the funnel. As with all of the other plastic components in this video, it is bonded to the superstructure using extra thin plastic cement. The installation of the photo etch can now begin. I'm going to start with the viewing slits. I can still very faintly see the outline of where the photo etch viewing slits need to be, so I'm going to mark those with a pen to help me locate the position of the photo etch viewing slits. Once the locations for all of the viewing slits are marked, I remove the photo etch viewing slits from their fret and fold the wriggle into position. When I installed these same type of viewing slits on the top of the conning tower, I used the silicone parts picker, which I didn't really like, so I've switched back to my trusty tweezers. To attach the viewing slits to the superstructure, I first place a very small drop of medium viscosity superglue on the back of the viewing slit, and then tack the viewing slit to the side of the superstructure. Once I'm happy with the position of all of the viewing slits, I reinforce their bond to the superstructure using extra thin superglue that I apply with a wire to the edge of the viewing slit. While applying the superglue, some excess residue would have been left behind around the edge of the viewing slit. This can make the viewing slits look less crisp, so I sand it away using 400 grit sandpaper. Next up, I'm going to install 2 hatches. There are actually 3 hatches that should be installed in this area of the superstructure, but the third one I'm not going to install at this point because it is high up and needs to be located around a platform that is yet to be installed. I also think that if I have that hatch installed before I try and install the platform, not only will it be difficult for me to get it into the right position, but even if I did get it into the right position, then it would be difficult for me to get the platform over the hatch. So I'm going to leave that one and just install the 2 lower hatches at this point. For both of these hatches, my standard hatch installation method is used. After folding the hatches, I place a small drop of medium viscosity superglue on the side of the superstructure in the location where the hatch needs to be installed. Then I place the hatch on top of the drop of superglue and adjust the hatch to ensure that it is in the correct orientation. Once I'm happy with the orientation of the hatch, I hold it in place with tweezers and I apply extra thin superglue to the side of the hatch to securely bond it to the superstructure. Now, for the photo etch funnel grille, there is actually quite a lot of photo etch that goes around the top of the funnels. It's not just this grille. There's a very small sort of wire detail that goes around the top part of the funnel, and then a walkway that goes around the entire perimeter of the funnel. Both of those I will not be installing now because it will make painting more difficult. I still intend to mask this area, paint, and then weather, and having that fine photo etch in the way is just going to run the risk of getting it damaged. So I'm going to keep it with the most basic photo etch for now and just install this very nice flat funnel top. There really isn't much to the installation of this piece of photo etch. It is well fitted to the top of the funnel top. That's the only area where things could have really gone wrong. To install the funnel grille, it is simply a matter of applying extra thin superglue to the edge of the photo etch using a superglue applicator and ensuring that glue has been applied around the entire perimeter. After applying the glue, any excess residue left next to the photo etch is removed with 400 grit sandpaper. The last piece of photo etch I'm going to install in this video is this platform that goes above the 40mm ready room. This is a bit of an awkward piece of photo etch. It doesn't do all that much. There isn't any detailing on the surface of the deck. All that it is doing is making the plastic platform that it sits above slightly larger and adding in a handrail. And as for the handrail, I'd prefer not to have a handrail at this point since all it's going to do is make the painting and weathering more difficult later on. Nevertheless, this is what I have, so I will install it at this point. This platform has slightly rounded corners, so I need to make rounded corners on the hand railing as well. To impart those corners, I use the shaft of a screwdriver, then fold the hand railing up into position. At this point, the hand railings don't perfectly match the corner of the deck, but that's not a problem. Hand railings can be adjusted at a later stage. For now, I want to tack and place the ends of the hand railing to ensure that they are stopping at the correct location on the deck. While holding the hand railing in place with my thumb, I bond the bottom rung to the deck using extra thin superglue that I apply with a wire. Once the bottom rung is secured in place, I use tweezers to manipulate the shape of the handrail. Once happy with the handrail, the platform can be bonded to the superstructure. I first tack it in place by placing a very small drop of medium viscosity superglue on the plastic platform, then place the photo etch platform on top of the superglue. After carefully positioning the photo etch, I then bond it in place using extra thin superglue that I apply to the edge of the platform. As always, any excess superglue residue left behind around the photo etch is removed using sandpaper. That is where I'm going to leave it for this video. In the next video, I'm going to construct and install the entirely photo-etch secondary conning station. If you don't want to wait for the scheduled release of videos and want to watch them when they are uploaded, consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below. If you would like to support the channel, like and subscribe, and as always, questions are welcome in the comments. Thank you for watching. Cheers.